Olá, pessoal. Deixa aqui. Pronto, agora tem só eu aqui. Olá, olá, tudo bom? Okay, I'm sorry. This is the English class. I'm so sorry. Hello, hello, hello. We are in the English class. I'm so sorry. We're starting. Hello, 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 hello. We're doing English this time. I was talking all in Portuguese right now. You're muted, Anne. Just want to let you know. There you go.
Boys
Hello.
are here, so I didn't want it to be loud.
It's okay. I just want to make sure
I'm
that
gonna
you
go get Mel. Yes, teach me more.
teach you more. All right, we're here. Okay.
He's so
Referrals.
excited.
That's good. That's good.
Cadê você, meu anjo?
Elsa is connecting her audio. Okay. I just want to let you guys know how important
This
it
is the
is for
English
you.
class first.
Eu acho que eu vou dormir também.
Okay. Hi, Elsa. Hi, Elsa. Okay. For you girls.
Friend of mine.
For you girls, we're recording. Hello. We're recording. Just so you know how important referrals are. I was just getting ready over here and I just got a text message from a client that says, your client told me to call you because I need an insurance. So it's just as easy as telling your clients how important it is for them to refer somebody to you. Tell them this is the best compliment that you can pay me is when you refer somebody to me. So if you're here and you're going to be attending the Portuguese class, it's going to be the same exact thing. Okay. Just want to let you know that we're going to be covering the same thing. And it's just an opportunity to show everybody what we offer as protection, organization of finances, and how important it is for you to have the tools available to you in order for you to know what you do with your money. So it's all good. Everybody makes money. Everybody spends money. It's just how you organize that coming in and going out that makes you successful with your finances. Okay. So that's the theme for today. That's the topic for today. So I'm going to share my screen and I appreciate you guys for, okay, you can see my screen now. I have to always remove this thing in the middle here. Okay, great. That's my family. All right, so what we're going to be talking about today is, let me just close this up. What we're going to be talking about today is Superman and Wonder Woman. Superman and Wonder Woman are, they are working super hard, saving the world, and they have some bills because they work and then they put the money in the bank and then they have to pay their bills and then their kids don't appreciate their money. Their kids just spend the money, whoever their kids are. I don't know if they have kids, but whatever. Today we're gonna pretend they have kids because the vast majority of people that I deal with are families. So I either have a person that has kids and is divorced or married or whatever. But Superman and Wonder Woman, they work hard and their strategy is like everybody else's strategy. Their strategy is to put their money, work super hard. How many of you have been taught that you have to work hard? You work hard, right? It pays to work hard. I said that to my daughter the other day, and I said, I'm going to put this on a quote and send it to somebody else because this is a good quote. I'm going to quote it. Okay. Work hard only it pays to work hard, right? People know that pays to work. Working hard only pays when you are working for somebody who appreciates you, rewards you, and recognizes you. Hard work only pays when you are working for somebody that appreciates you, rewards you, and recognizes you. Otherwise, work hard is not a smart move. How many of you have read the Rich Dad and the Poor Dad book? Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Guys, have read that book? Okay, I highly suggest that you put that on audio. And if you speak another language, that book has been translated in multiple languages. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If you have never read that book, listen to the book, because it helps a person understand that the traditional way of doing money from the past no longer applies to how money works today. For many, many reasons, but one of them is that traditional financial tools are no longer providing you with the type of growth and multiplicity that now the tools that are available now are giving you. So what our grandparents and what our parents did with money is no longer profitable for us to keep on those same paths. Okay, so it's honorable to work, it's honorable to save, it's a biblical to be a good steward of your money, but you want to be astute in what you do with your money once you earn it. And that's what we're going to talk today about. So the topic today is creating a financial plan, a financial map. Many of the tools that I'm going to show you today, you can use it online, you can Google it, but there's one tool that you will need to talk to your agent about, because this tool is a software that only licensed financial advisors have, and that really defines a financial plan, a financial map that is made just for you. And that's what I want to show you today. So budget is so boring. Nobody likes budget. Nobody likes to do budget. Nobody likes to sit down and put their budget down on paper. But budgeting is important, just so, from my perspective, so you know how much money comes in and how much money is going out. Not everybody's going to stick to that budget all the time, because it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of willpower to stay within the budget. But I do believe that once you see the numbers and you are aware of how much money comes in and how much money goes out, then you can strategize. You can know what you're doing with your money. Okay. So today I'm going to show you a tool that I use with a bunch of my clients. And this is a Google form. It's not anything big. It's an Excel file, but it kind of helps you figure out what you do with your money. So I can send you the link for this. This is different from last week's class. This is a monthly budget paper. And so that one was a yearly budget for you to use for your taxes. Today, we're going to talk about how much money comes in, how much money goes out, and what are you doing with it with regards to the date that comes in, the date that goes out. Because sometimes when a person says to me, I have money, I just don't know how to best apply it, this is the form that I use with my clients. So again, like we talked about last week, this is a public sheet. If you want to do this for yourself, just go ahead and click File, and then you go on to Copy, make a copy, and then you create a copy. And today I created a copy for Superman and Wonder Woman. Okay, because that's our couple for today. And they have several bills, and they have the dates that the bills are due. And so we're going to be talking about that. So how do you use this form? So the first line is going to be all the expenses that you have monthly, how much the expense is. And this column C is a very important column, because it talks about the dates that is due. What is the date that bill is due in those 30 days that you have? If you do pay an APR on that bill, I want to know the APR here. And if you are paying an interest charge, you need to put that money, how much money in interest charge you paid. So let's say that it was a credit card and the APR is 15%, and out of the minimum payment that you made there of $100, 37 went to interest charge. You need to put that in here, because the total here is going to help you figure out something that's super important. Okay. So when you are looking at the total that you pay in interest charges monthly, it's going to really help you visualize the money that's going out to banks and to finance charges, which is going to help you get excited about fixing that. Hi, Asia. And then you can make your notes over here. So let me just show you what Superman and Wonder Woman did over here with their bills. So I don't know if, can you guys see this at all? I can't make it any bigger. Maybe I can a little bit. Okay. So on this form, Superman and Wonder Woman have the mortgage that they pay monthly. The date of the mortgage is due is on the 1st. They have an APR on their mortgage of 5%, and they only pay the mortgage. They don't pay anything else. But on the notes, this is what I would like for you to do with your own. Write down when the late fee is and how much the late fee is, because that's going to help you establish when you want to pay this and if what is it that you're doing to allocate that money. If you have the money, of course, you're going to pay it, but if you don't have the money, this is an important piece of information to decide what to do with your money in your bank account, okay? So on the notes, write down how much your late fee is and when that accrues in your bill. And you do that for all your bills. So your car, your groceries, your cable, your cell phone, your whatever. Put all your bills for the month over here. If you are not sure where your money goes, just open your bank statement at the end of the month or do it for last month. Look at your last month statement and just kind of go see everything that is repeating in there. Okay. Then you can get a gauge of how much money you spend on groceries and gas and all those things that you spend on a monthly basis. So put all of your expenses here. Then what you want to do is you want to write down your income. So let's say that you get paid twice a month. You write down how much you get net, right? How much your paycheck is, and you put the date as well. Why do you want to put the date on? Because you want to know how to best allocate that income. The reason why this column is so important over here is I'm going to show you what the next section is. So your expenses, and then you're going to use your income here. And the next part is you're going to make a payment strategy. For the couple, for the Superman and the Wonder Woman that tell me, Anna, I pay my bills on time, but that's all I have. I live paycheck to paycheck. So this is where you're going to allocate your assets the best way possible. Last class, we talked about how important it is to know when your bill is due, because sometimes you have a grace period of 10, 15 days. For example, the vast majority of mortgages give you a grace period of 15 days. Did you guys know that? Your mortgages generally give you a grace period of 15 days. So if you're not going to be charged a late charge on your mortgage for 15 days, but you do have another bill that is going to charge you a late charge within those 15 days of grace period, why not allocate that money towards the bill that will charge you the fee? And then on your second payment, you go ahead and pay your mortgage that's not going to charge you a late fee. That's why knowing the date that is due and knowing your grace period is important for you to actualize those payment dates. Any questions, any comments so far? Does it make sense to you guys? So this worksheet has, I don't have the, this is already formulated that this is the total for all of the bills. And this over here is the total that's going to be left over at the end of the month when everything is gone. So just as long as you remember to, when it's a plus, this is like a checkbook, okay? Payment strategy is like a checkbook. So if it's a positive income, you leave it plus, but if it's an expense, you put a minus in front of the number and the Excel will automatically do the addition for you. So let's say that you put over here pizza and you put it minus 100. If you notice that $500 over here, when I put enter, it's going to go to 400. You see that? So it's already done here. The Excel file is already formulated. So as long as you put a minus for the expenses and leave it a regular without the minus, it will calculate for you how much leftover you have, how much money you have left over at the end of that period that you're putting in over here. When you're done, just erase it. Or if you want to save it for January, February, March, you save your checkbook list over here and you save your expenses and income over here. So this is something that you can save for yourself and work this out until you get used to what are your expenses, what is your income, so you can start tracking those numbers. Remember, a tracked number grows. So if you're tracking your income, it will grow. If you're tracking your budget will grow. If you're tracking your financial future, that will develop. So a tracked number grows, okay? Over here, so far, so good. So if you, let me see if I can share that with you. I'm gonna share, let me see if I can do this over here. Copy the link and I'm gonna shoot it over on the chat, okay? So you guys can have a copy of that link. And now once you use this over here, remember that you wanna copy that and not use the one that, I'll put this over here, just, I'm not sure why she's a viewer. I'm not sure why she's over here as, and anyways, okay. So it's shareable, it's, so people can see that, okay? And actually there's somebody already there looking it up. I don't know who opened the link, but somebody just opened the link. And if you start sharing things with your friends, you know that there's somebody share. When you have a little person here, you know somebody opened the link, okay? If you're working on your open Google things, you know people are in the same link with you. That's how you know. There's a person there. That's Anne, I'm sure. There you go. Okay. So what do you do when you have all those numbers and you have all those totals and you are working out those numbers? We have an opportunity to then input that on your financial map. I just want to show you what our financial map for our client looks like. Here it is. Financial map for our client. Let's talk about this for a second, because this is what happens when a person starts to talk to us about what they have in income and how to best make that happen. There's always a line of zero. So we're talking about either people that spend their money and pay, or save and then spend. So what happens? There's two types of people with regards to how you invest in assets. The first one is you save for a period of time, and then you spend that money. So if you're thinking of their bank account was zero, and then you start putting money in the bank account until you save. But then you get to the point where you have the money that you want to buy your thing, and then you withdraw the money from the savings account, and the savings account go to zero again. So you save, and then you spend. While you're saving, there are other opportunities and interest that you have to forego in order for you to get to your savings goal. So let's say that you're saving for a Christmas trip, and it's $5,000. So from now until Christmas, you have to put $1,000 in the bank every month, which means that $1,000 is no longer available for you to spend on something else. So although you're working for a goal, there's things that these next few months that you're not going to buy because that $1,000 has to go to your savings account. So that's the saver. The spender works opposite way. The spender gets a credit card and pays for the trip. Okay, puts the trip on the credit card to save the airfare and blah, 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 hotel. But now for the next 5 months until that credit card is paid off, he has to work to put that $1,000 in that credit card payment in order for him to zero that out. Otherwise, he's paying interest in the bill, correct? All right, so either the saver is saving and then spending, or the spender is spending, then paying for it. So these are the two types of ways that you can do your money, okay? This is pretty much what our parents taught us, what our grandparents taught us, and that's how society has run until you learn something new. And there is something different than this, but the vast majority of the banking industry does not want you to know that information. The vast majority of the banking industry does not want you to know that there's a different way from this, because this way they gain. because there's no other solution except to pay, to leave your money in the savings account where you deposit, but they don't put that in a cute little box with your name on it until you're ready to come pick it up, right? So they gain from your deposits because they're investing, they're returning to you as 0.00001. Or you're spending on a credit card and they're getting it again because they're charging your finance charges. Either way, the banking industry is winning when you work this system. But there are different ways to do so where the banking industry does not take advantage of your money, but they don't tell you because then they lose a client. That's why a financial advisor is so important in your life, because we are worried about doing the thing that we do. We're worried about doing our job, and we are not aware that other ways exist. Other ways to do money exist. Okay, so you keep your normal payments, you pay your debts, you do it again next month, and that's your checking account. And your savings account is like that. You just do that. That's what we know. That's what our grandparents know. That's what our parents know. And that's how banking has existed so far. Okay. On this case of this Superman and Wonder Woman, they have 2 houses, they have a car, and they have 2 credit cards. So their debt is around $400,000, and they're going to be paying almost $200,000 in interest if they keep doing what their parents taught them, what their grandparents taught them, what the traditional way of banking looks like. 27 years of debt. This is if they don't accrue any additional debts. And the economy goes great, and they keep making those same monthly payments nicely. If they don't lose their job, if they don't get married, if there's no catastrophe, this is if everything looks exactly as it is right now for the next 27.5 years. So that's pretty much double of what they have here so far, right? 400,000 and 200,000. So this is their true debt. It's when you add what they already accumulated in debt by signing their contracts, and then what they're going to be paying in interest. So they're going to have almost $600,000 in debt. So that's their first credit card. They owe $2,000. Second credit card, they owe $5,000. They have a car for $35,000. They have another car for $27,000, and they have 2 houses. So they have their personal home, and then they have a rental property. This is what they're going to be doing for the rest of the next 27 years. But if they choose a different way, and that's the way that we're trying to teach today, they can slash off a ton of time and a ton of interest. But we need to know how to do that. And the family bank is the best option for them if that's what their goal is. So what we're going to talk about is, what are the traditional tools that we have in the market that offer us banking with some type of growth. So you have your savings account that your bank offers you, that offers you 0.000. Anybody here has a savings account that offers you 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%? It's very, very rare to find a regular savings account that offers you more than 1% nowadays. Mutual funds and stocks are a great way to casino your money. It's the same thing as if you get your money and go to the casino, because you could win super big, but you could lose everything. The same thing. It's the same strategy. It just looks nicer because it says mutual fund, but it's indexed in the stock market. Stocks are a gamble. Mutual funds are a gamble. You could say, oh, traditionally every 10 years you have such and such. But if you put an average, the growth is not that amazing. If you look at the super ups and the super downs, for the next 3 years, we're going to be seeing negative returns on mutual funds and stocks. The next 3 to 5 years. Maybe it'll get better after November 2024, but not until then, which means whatever you had in growth in the years 2017, 2018, 2019, you're losing everything at this point. So it is a casino gamble. Mutual funds and stocks are casino gamble because they're indexed on the market. So if a market does great, you win. If the market does bad, you lose. Same thing for IRAs and 401ks. A 401k is a great benefit to your employer. Your employer wins big by offering you a 401k. If I were to ask you to tell me how much money you will have in your 401k when you retire at 65 years old, can you tell me the number? Can you tell me the number? Can you tell me how much you're going to have available liquid at 59 and a half when you were able to withdraw that money without penalty? Do you know the number? Do you know? Go ahead. Elsa, you opened your microphone?
No, no idea.
You don't have an idea. Most people don't, Elsa. Most people have no clue because that was never shown to them. There was no map that was shown. There was no strategy. There was no table of content. They just said, keep putting money over there and we'll hope for our best. The reason why 401ks and IRAs have no guarantees is because, again, they're indexed. They're attached to investments. They have a zero floor, which means you're not going to lose what you invested, but they cannot guarantee you how much money exactly you will have at 59 and a half when the government allows you to withdraw without penalties, or at 62 or 65 or at 70, whatever age you choose to retire. You should be able to have a table of content where it shows you how much money you're going to have at a specific age that you choose to retire. And that is not available, friends, on these types of products because they cannot promise you. Again, because the money is invested. But for you, there's an incentive because your employer is going to, what's the favorite word that the employers use? We're going to
We're going to match your investment.
match. That's a very good catch. Exactly. Thank you, Ann. Put money there because we're gonna match it. We're gonna match your income. We're gonna match your deposit, right? I asked that. Go
For
ahead.
4 to 7 years, and then they're gonna say, we want to push you out so we can hire two instead of just one.
Right, exactly. Very, very good. Very, very good. Okay, I asked that question last week regarding mortgage payments. Okay, but let me ask you this question. Your employer is already spending money hiring you, training you, paying you a salary, and paying retention for you. What is their incentive to match your deposit on your 401k? Why would an employer offer a 401k match? Think about this because we think about it from our perspective, right? Put your employer's hat on and tell me, why do you think the employer would be compelled to match your contribution?
It's a tax deduction.
Very good. It's not because they think you're cute. It's not because they love you very much. It's not because they want to see you retire rich. It's not because they want to help you build your nest egg. Because the moment they don't like you, they're going to let you go, no matter how nice they are to you. The moment you're a liability, they squeeze you out. Doesn't matter how nice you are. Doesn't matter how nice they are. At the end of the day, if they're not profitable, you are no longer an asset to the company. 401ks are a benefit to the employer. If you were to look at these types of plans and do the same exact contribution and take it up to yourself, do it yourselves, there are better ways. Thank you, Nuber. It is true. It is true. And so when we start unveiling these traditional ways that our grandparents operated, our parents operated, and we were taught in school, we start learning that there are better, more productive, more financially astute ways for us to grow our money. And so if you look at this table and you notice that, let's see what benefits. So let's look at this over here, and then we're going to go back to the match issue, because that's the number one thing that most people bring up once you bring up this table of contents. So you say, okay, 401k, accessibility to the IRA and 401k depends on how the contract was written, correct? So, and you know that if you access ahead of time, you have your penalties, you lose your growth, or there are vesting, the way it was the way that the benefits are vested with the employer. There's all kinds of little fine print issues that, so you don't know if it's accessible, if it's liquid, if you can take the money out and use for things that you need. What we save money because we want to use the money, right? We save money because we want to be able to use money. Do you know when your emergency or money need will happen? Correct. We don't know. We assume, for example, we know we're going to retire at age X. We know we're going to get married at such. We know we want to buy a house at such time. We know our children are going to graduate from high school, we're going to go to college. So there are some things that are planned that we have a specific date. But generally, the major times in our life that we really need to access large amounts of money are usually emergencies, correct? Accidents, catastrophes, deaths, something like that. And so you need access of a lot of money. And guess what? It's not liquid. And so the time where you most need your money, you cannot access it on these traditional tools that have existed for eons. IRA and 401k is one example. Mutual funds and stocks are accessible, except that if you are, you could, like I said, it's a casino. If you are lucky enough to sell it when the market is up and you bought it for less, you made money. But if you need the money and the market is bullish, you're accessing the money, but you're accessing the money, you're actualizing a loss. You're selling your stocks and your mutual funds at a loss, which means you put money on a savings account to grow. The money went away, and are you taking whatever's left over, which means you lost. Whatever is left over there, it's theirs. It's not yours, and you can't get it back. Once you sell that mutual fund or stock, that's it. You actualize the loss. Banks and savings accounts are liquid. You can pull it on and take it off at the same time, except that you don't have the growth, right? The reason why it's liquid and easy access is because they can't invest it. So they are not going to give it back to you because you have accessibility to the funds, which means they're not going to be able to invest all of it. They do invest pretty much 90% of it, but they have to keep 10% of it in the bank there just in case you go, everybody has a bank run and they have to cash it out. But in your family bank, you have the liquidity. You can pull it out any minute and it's safe for you. Penalty free, and we can go down this block. Penalty free, IRA and 401k is not, unless you're above the threshold. Mutual funds, I don't know. If you're losing, if you have whatever the contract you have over there, you may have to be paying penalties. Banks and your family bank, you have no penalty. So you can pull out your money and put in your money anytime you want to. Guaranteed growth, only on your savings and in your family bank. Very little on your savings, guaranteed number, guaranteed percent on your family bank. But there's no guarantee with IRAs and mutual funds and stocks, again, because it's a gamble. It's the stock. Tax favored? Yes, IRA is tax favored. 401k is tax favored. If you have a Roth product, that is the best product to have because it grows tax-free. So you pay taxes on deposit, but then you can, when you withdraw the money, you withdraw it tax-free on the gains. So that is a tax-favored product. And then your family bank is a tax-favored product. But your savings, if you make more than $600 in capital gains there, if you get you will get a 1099 from your bank. And then you have to pay taxes on that. Mutual funds, the same way. Stocks, the same way. And so you understand where the benefits are coming from when we're looking at all of these types of products. So let's talk again, like I said, let's talk about the match. When you are looking at the looks, all of these products are long-term, right? All of these products we're talking for a long period of time. The match for the employer is an investment on a long-term employee, and the incentive for the employee to participate on a retirement product like this, the match is because it's long-term, it'll double the money, right? It'll double because what you put in, it will be doubled. If you have the time frame that your employer says you have to stay there for you to actualize that deposit, then the money is doubled because whatever you put in, they put in as well. I don't know if you are aware, but there are tables and rules that talk about doubling your money out there. We've talked about that. We understand that there's rules of this and rules of that. And so you understand that there's ways to double your money. The vast majority of investments that are this type of investment that are risky, that have some type of risk, you can more than double your money. There's no guarantee on that. Just like your IRA, there's like your 401k and your IRA with your employer has no guarantee in it. And again, because whatever the match is, there's a zero floor. Whatever you deposit in there and what they deposit is zero floor. You're not going to lose that. But whatever is promised of growth, that is not guaranteed. But when you have the power over that money, you can make the decisions on investments instead of letting them make the investment decisions. They are investing the money that is not theirs. So they're making financial decisions that are based purely on business. When you invest your money, it's a business decision that is attached to your future. So you're going to be more interested in seeing that success because you have a goal for that money. What is the investor's goal for that money? When you're looking at your employer's plan and they're investing your money, his goal is to keep his job and make his fees. That is his goal. His goal is to keep his job and make sure that he gets the fees that he is receiving from making those investments. It really doesn't matter to him that you have the money that you need to retire. It really doesn't matter to the person that is making those investments on your behalf. When you are making your investments, you have a vested interest in those investments to actualize. So you're going to be a lot smarter with regards to those investments because it doesn't matter how much it costs you. You're going to make sure that you're going to have that money for your retirement. So when you're talking about matching and the guarantees, there are so many different options beyond your employer match that gives you flexibility, guarantee, liquidity, and options to work your money when you need your money. When you need your money. If you're going to wait until 59 and a half to actualize your retirement funds, maybe at that point you're no longer interested in investing and in growing, and you could have bypassed so many other opportunities for investment. All those years that money was just sitting over there. So think about a person that is in their 30s working a regular job where they're putting money aside every single month, and when an opportunity for investment comes, they have no liquidity on those assets. And so they could have purchased a duplex and actualized cash flow in there. They could have invested in a business. They could have taken that money and invested in whatever. I mean, pick your investment. But because that money is locked into those products, that opportunity is going to pass away. It's not going to be liquid for him to be able to use that money and grow his wealth. And so when you have the money in your hands, that's your responsibility to grow your retirement. When the investor on your behalf is doing that, all he's worried about is his fees and make sure he gets paid his salary. That's it. There's no extra incentive for him to actualize those investments for you. Okay. So this is so important for you to understand, because when you start paying attention to what you have and what you are free to use, you think differently than the traditional ways of thinking. When you have inefficient dollars sitting on your employers, your 401k money, and you on your savings account that are not growing, the same amount of money could be growing you 5-10 times more on a high yield account, on a guaranteed growth account. So your cash grows annually when you are directing that to efficient growth tools. So your money grows annually at a compound interest. So now you can use that to pay off all the bills that you have that are charging you interest fees and late fees and money that's going to the bank. And so when you start paying off those debts, you can start snowballing them into larger payments towards your bank. And when you accumulate enough to pay off a complete debt, you do so. When you eliminate all debt and learn new ways of dealing with your bills, then you have leftover money. That leftover money can be used for the things that you like to do with your family, plus saving for the future. Until you take care of that, it's very difficult to save for the future and invest, because you have to pay bills and you have to keep giving the money to the bank so they can have their fees, so they can invest, and so they can make money on your money. Okay. When you use your family bank, your money is doing two jobs. When you're depositing your money into your bank, instead of the regular traditional bank that your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, and your dad deposited, your money is doing two jobs. While it sits on your family bank, it's growing at a guaranteed rate. Depending on the contract, 5, 5.2, 4.76, guaranteed. Even when you withdraw it, because it's your family bank. It's not Bank of America, it's not Chase, it's not Wells Fargo, it's your bank. So your bank is going to pay you APY even when you use it. And the second job is for you to invest on whatever you want to invest. So let's say that you do want to buy a duplex, you want to buy a business, you want to buy a vending machine, you want to invest in a laundromat, you want to start a dog walking business. All that money that was sitting on your savings account, you can remove it, you can use it. Now it's growing in your business by your sales and the things that you're doing with that money, but it's also growing in as if it was in your vault, in your Santana vault, into your Madeira vault, into Fernandez vault. It's growing there, and it's growing as you're using it. It has two jobs. It's working 2 times for you. If you have heard of the idea that money makes money, that I want my money to make money for me, that is a concept that is new, and that the person that knows how to utilize that has 10x growth in their money. It's not using the traditional way to do money. So that's what we're doing with this money. We're establishing emergency funds. We're paying off debt. We're improving cash flow. We're earning interest at the same time that we're paying off debt. A lot of people say to me, how can I put money in my bank and also keep paying interest? Because there's a strategy to pay off debt that traditionally is not taught to you. The traditional way of paying off debt is every money that you have, you pay off the debt. That is the traditional way. Every extra money that you have, you put it towards your debt. And how many people are still in debt doing that same thing? Right? People stay in debt still with every extra money that you have, sticking it into your debt. You still do not complete that. You complete that payment until you have full amount of the debt. You don't put it into the debt because that's not strategically smart. That's what everybody teaches you. That's what traditional way of paying off debt tells you. You stick it in, you pay more, you pay a little extra, you give them the money, right? But that's not how you do it. And that is why filling out this form here, knowing when your due date is, knowing when your payments are, knowing when your late fees accrue, knowing what is the last date that you can pay that bill without accruing any extra fees. That is why this is so important. Because as you do that, you understand how your money is going to work for you and not for the bank. Okay? When you finish it off and you can have paying off your debt and have all of that taken care of, and now you learned how to use your credit cards, you learned how to buy things with your own bank, use your own funds to accomplish goals, and to have a smart way to accrue debt and to pay off bills, then you can say I'm debt free. Debt free does not only mean that you don't have any bills that you're paying that have finance charges. It just means that the debt that you have is the debt that you choose to have. You know exactly how that debt is, how much it's going to cost you, if it's a smart business decision for you. If you think that millionaires don't have debt, it's incorrect. Millionaires use debt. They use debt because there's cash flow in debt. And so being debt-free is a choice that you are going to make. And the debt that you have is the debt that is going to make you money. Debt can make you money if you're strategic about that debt. And so when you learn how to use debt to grow your wealth, then you are going against the traditional way that your grandma and your grandpa and your mom and your dad have been taught and have been working, but you're going to use that to 10x your finances. And that's going to be when you sit down with your financial advisor, because she's going to teach you, she's going to show you a map of how to pay that off. I have put here on this Excel file, this is our software that you're going to have exclusively with your financial advisor that's licensed, and they invited you here. But this is, again, Superman and Wonder Woman's debt sheet, okay? So we know that there's different APRs that they're paying, and the amount of money that they owe total is different. And the worksheet is going to teach them which payment is going to go towards eliminating the full debt. We sometimes are taught traditionally that we need to eliminate the highest APR first or the smallest debt first. Let the software teach you how to pay your minimum payments on everything and eliminate based on the snowball method. Which one should be eliminated first based on how are you going to invest in your family bank. So you have to do two things. Once you have filled out your form, you're going to know how much is going to be left over for you monthly. And you're going to figure out how much money you're putting extra on your bills that you should not be doing that, because we're going to go back to paying minimum payments on everything. I'm going to show you just two screenshots when you're filling out your profile, but I just wanted to see what it looks like when you are filling that out. So this is a mortgage statement, okay? So this mortgage, there's almost $180,000 owed here. This is a 2.9. So they bought this house before the housing bubble, before everything started going bad. So they're going to be paying this bill until April of 2051. This couple has followed my advice and unescrowed their mortgage. What does that mean? The taxes and insurance are paid separately. They do not pay the taxes and insurance monthly. They do that once a year separately. So if you are not in this boat, you need to be on this boat, because again, there's no benefit for you to give the bank monthly taxes and insurance for them to invest your money. The bill is due once a year. The taxes bill is due to the county once a year. The insurance bill is due once a year. Why are you giving them your money monthly for them to, are they putting that in a little box with your name on it, waiting for the bill? No, they're not doing that. They are investing your money. You should invest your money, not them. So you unescrow your mortgage. They are no longer paying escrow. Smart move. So their mortgage is going to be just the principal and the interest. And on this money here, what do we teach this couple? They're putting this escrow into their family bank. It's growing at their account is at 4.76% guaranteed. At the end of the fiscal year, they're going to have the money for the escrow and the leftover cash that is accrued interest that they have received instead of the bank receiving. Okay. So when you are doing your, I'm going to give you a sheet of paper to fill out. Yes, Elsa, go ahead.
A question. When you said to unescrow, your mortgage, how about those people that has, I'm not going to say that's me, of course, you know,
Yes,
when
I
they
get it.
have like doing improvement, they did like did the windows, the roof, solar panel, they put that and they put it together in escrow, that in the mortgage because they finance. So can we escrow all that?
If it's all bundled into your principal and interest, you cannot. And I'm
Okay.
glad you asked that question, because an FHA loan cannot be unescrowed.
That's a conventional.
Conventional or conventional loans or higher. If you put 3.5% and it's a Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac backed loan, it cannot be unescrowed. So the next best thing is to wait for the rates to go lower and refinance with a conventional loan, because then you can do that. So if you're stuck with an FHA loan, you are not able to unescrow your loan. That's not legal.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you can refinance when the rates get better. Don't do that right now. When the rates get better, refinance with a conventional loan, and then you can put that money invested on your family bank. But with regards to solar panels and things that are rolled into your mortgage, I would ask your mortgage company. They're so different. Every mortgage company has their own rules and regulations. Assuming assuming mortgages is a different rule for each state, each county, the lender. So there's a lot of different things that you can, but it does not cost you to ask that question. Okay. And the other thing I would do, I would call 2 times and talk to 2 different agents, because you may get one answer from one person and another answer from another person. Remember, they want your money, right? They have no interest in making it easy for you to save money. They want your money. So even if you get a no for the first time, call again and ask the same question to another department. And you may be surprised that you may get something different.
Okay.
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 Okay, so this is the mortgage statement. I'm going to show you a credit card statement. So here's a credit card statement, and most people, when they're filling out their profile, they don't know how much their PR is. They don't even know where to find it on a statement. And it's usually not on your, the APR that you pay on a credit card statement is not normally on the, activity. It's all the way at the bottom, like a very, very fine print. They don't even want to tell you how much you're paying because you could be cutting that thing up in no time if you saw how much money you're paying them in interest. But you got to go all the way down and look at the APR that is there when you fill out this sheet that we're going to be sending it to you guys to fill out, because then you can create your financial plan. So what does your financial advisor need from you in order for them to help you out? And I don't want to sit down. I don't want to show my financial advisor my money. You know, that's my private information. Okay, you don't have to. I'll help you figure it out. Good luck to you. Yeah, nobody wants to sit down with a financial advisor and because it's private information. Okay, you don't have to give them your social security number, your bank account numbers. Give them a ballpark of what you owe. Give them a ballpark of numbers, because then they can help you figure out how to pay that off faster. Your financial advisor is going to be able to give you this sheet of paper, and I'll send you the link here. This on the chat. This is a sheet of paper that's going to help you fill out your basic information. And with this basic information, you can fill out, your financial advisor can help you create your financial map. So the agent name and whatever, that's for them to know. But you need to know if you are a male or female, in your retirement age, your birth date, and then you're going to be putting in all your basic information. Did you guys see this at all? No, I didn't share my screen. I'm talking, but I'm not sharing my screen. That's a duh moment right there for me. Okay. Okay. So you're going to have that sheet of paper that has your real estate information, your debt. So the amount, the name of the debt, the amount that's owed completely, the interest rate that you're paying, the minimum payment, and then the actual payment. For the agents, this is the sheet that's going to help you figure out what is the amount that they can invest in their family bank. The actual payment, when you add this line here compared to the minimum payment. Yes, Ann?
Is this the same one that you have on your website?
I don't know. I have to go back and see.
Okay.
I don't know. I may have this on my website. I don't remember anymore what I put in there. It could be. I don't know, Ann. I really don't know. But when you look at the minimum payment that the client is supposed to be submitting to their bill and the actual payment, when you see a difference in here, it will be the difference that you can then help them figure out what is their family bank going to be able to be structured at. Okay. If they have life insurance, many times their parents have set that up for them. They don't even know that they have a cash value accumulation on their product. So that's something that you want to teach your clients. Most of these clients that are American and they have had a life insurance policy their parents have for them, they have no clue that they have a cash value policy available to them to help them pay their debt. And since they've been having that since they were teenagers or sometimes newborns, they have accumulated a large sum of cash value. Their parents have paid on for them, but their parents have been paying it on for them since they were born. They forget that they have it. It's just something that, you know, if you are a parent and you're not structuring a life insurance policy for your baby to be paid up at 18, you're missing out on a great wealth development for your family. That's a change maker in the rest, like on the future of generations. So if you have children, establish a whole life policy for them when they're young and they're healthy. They will never have to have a medical exam to be approved for a policy. Do one, do many. The death benefit on those is small, but it's well worth it because they will just keep on having that. You can transfer ownership. Hi, Riza. I'm going to change to Portuguese in just a little bit. But this is a great gift for your children. Okay, so life insurance and then income and expenses for your house, wages, pension, so income, and then your expenses, and then your investments accounts. And then so when you fill this out, you as an insurance agent, you'll be able to help your client figure out where the money is going to come to establish their family bank. But as a client, you're going to start seeing black and white where your money is going to and what you need to do in order for you to better structure your finances. Okay. If you are here and you have an agent and your agent has offered to you to sit down and establish your finances with you, help you achieve your financial goals, I strongly suggest that you touch base with them after this phone call. This is what we're here for. We're here to help you achieve your financial goals. And sometimes we're so busy doing our life that we don't get to learn or dive deep into financial information. The world is changing right now. There's a lot of different products that are on the market. Traditionally, the way our grandparents and our parents taught us how to take care of money is different now. Like I said, if you have not read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, do that. I have a list of other books, but this one, if you have not read that book, go read that because it talks about that difference in between the traditional way of doing things and the new way of doing things. And new things are good, especially in the financial world. You need to understand what's out there for you. So you don't have to work so hard. You can work smart. Okay. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to just stop recording and turn off and turn it back on. So if you're here for the Portuguese class, stay. I'm just going to reset so the new recording starts in Portuguese. Does that make sense? I'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you, guys.